So I've been playing guitar since I was about 13 years old, and I have not done many videos on this channel about guitars or any of the gear that goes along that, and I'll be honest, I kind of want to make that change a little bit. Today I was practicing a little bit of guitar, and I realized I need to be telling you guys a little bit more about what I use for gear. So in this video, I'm going to be telling you guys everything about the G7th Performance Capos. This is the Performance 2, however, I'll be honest, the new Performance 3 really isn't that much different, and this is the guitar capo that I can't go without. I've been using so many different guitar capos ever since I was 13 years old, and this is the one that I use the most. This is the one whenever someone else has another guitar capo on their guitar, I make sure I have this one to replace it with because it is just that good. So let's go ahead and talk about what I do like about this capo and the few things that I don't like to see if it's the best one for you. So with that said, let's get on with it. What is the Performance Capo from G7th? So this is a pressure-based capo. So basically, you decide how much pressure you want to put down on the strings. It's a little bit different than other capos, especially the ones that are kind of those spring-based ones where there's really only one pressure because it comes from a spring. This one you actually clamp down on the guitar and you actually decide how much pressure goes onto the strings, which is really cool because it makes it really compatible with a wide range of guitars. For example, I have my 1962 Gibson B25. This is a 3/4 size guitar and it generally has a little bit lower action than a lot of the other guitars, and it goes right on extremely easily. You can see right here, basically all you do is you just put it on. There's this nice little indent right here that you put your thumb on, and then you kind of wrap your hand around it and you just kind of put it on like that. And you decide. So it's nice because basically you can adjust it to however you want it. So if you're getting a little bit of buzzing, it's easy to take on, and then you're able to put a little bit more pressure on, a little bit less pressure. It's just easy to adjust. And it's also easy in between songs to put it onto the headstock and that kind of stuff. I play in worship bands, so as we are notoriously known for, we use capos for everything because everything has to be a G, C, or a D chord. I'd love to be kidding, however, that just is the case. I do my best to learn more chords, and I challenge myself constantly to not use capos. However, the fact is, I use a lot of capos, and this is the one that I like the best. So with that tangent, let's keep going. Let's talk about the things that I do like about this capo. I like the way that it goes on. It is extremely, extremely smooth and easy to do. It is easy to transfer. It's extremely easy to switch between different frets and that kind of stuff. You can switch it as much as you want. So let's talk a little bit about the operation of this capo. So basically it's a pressure base, like I was saying earlier, and you press it down, and then there's this little like lever right here. And so you just kind of like pinch right there and it pops it up and off. So we have it loose right there, clamp, and then I'm just pushing down like that and you're able to take it off. It's super easy and a really ergonomic way to take it on and off of the guitar, and it's really quick to do. So let's go ahead and throw in the headstock here of my Gibson. Yeah. It looks pretty good on there. Let's get into the things that I do like. And one of those is how bulky it is. It doesn't have much bulk. It's extremely lightweight. It is extremely just simple. There aren't any extra handles. There aren't any extra screws or anything like that. It's extremely just small. So it's easy to put into your pocket, easy to put into your gig bag or anything like that. So it's just not super bulky, or like when you're up on stage, you don't have a capo that's just kind of like hanging off the end or anything like that. It just kind of fits snug there on the headstock. The other thing that I really like about it is the ability to change how much pressure you have on the capo. So like I was saying earlier, this has really low action on this guitar, so it takes a little bit different of a pressure on this one. You don't need as much pressure, and it's nice to be able to choose that so that you don't have to have a ridiculous amount of pressure on the strings and on the guitar, and I really do like that. The next thing I like about it is just the way it looks. It's really slim, it's really sleek, there just isn't a ton extra there, and I really like it. So with that said, normally I try to have more pros and cons. However, I'll be completely honest, this is a super simple product. There isn't much to it. And it's one of those things that you just kind of know it when you use it the first time. It's just really, really high quality. And I'll be honest, that kind of goes into the cons, and I'll talk about that in a second. And the second is right now. So let's go into the things that I don't like about it. Pay attention to these because these are the things you want to make sure are not a deal breaker for you. So this is the Performance 2. There is the Performance 3, which is the next version of it. So these both are generally around $50, give or take. So these are incredibly expensive, and I would say that's really the one downside to this is going to be just how expensive it is. You can buy a capo for literally a couple dollars. So So spending the amount of money that this has is really a choice. I think it's worth it if you are somebody who's getting serious about guitar and willing to invest in playing guitar. This is fantastic. Do I think that everybody needs this capo? Not necessarily, because I think you should be focusing on other things than spending a bunch of money on your accessories and things like that. You should be practicing on building up things like calluses. You should be practicing your chords, moving quickly between different things. However, if you are getting more serious and you're becoming maybe more of an intermediate player, you might want to think about getting something like this, because it makes your life a lot easier, especially if you're in something like a worship band like I am. Something like this makes your life a lot easier. The only other con I can think of is it isn't quite as easy to take on and off the guitar as something like a spring-loaded where you just squeeze it. That is a much more simple motion than the kind of pinch kind of thing. Is it really easy to put on and off? Yes, it is. However, it is a little bit more difficult. So if you don't really want to think about it quite as much, maybe those spring-loaded capos are a little bit better choice for you. But I think the trade-offs of having such a nice capo that works so well, that gives you a lot of flexibility on the guitars that it works with, and it makes it so that you don't have nearly as much buzzing on your capo, and you just have the ability to adjust it more. This is just an incredible capo, and it is the one that whenever anyone else has a different capo on their guitar, I take it off and I put this one on it, because this one just is so much less frustrating for me. So that said, guys, I do have links to this capo down in the description, so I do invite you to use that. This is not a capo that was sent out to me by a brand or a manufacturer or anything like that. So this is just something that I've just been using for years, and I highly recommend. So make sure to use my link down in the description. It is an affiliate link, and it helps me out if you guys do make a purchase through it. And if you guys want more content like this, I do invite you to subscribe to the YouTube channel. I'm going to try to do a little bit more guitar content. However, I'm going to continue with all the other men's gear and all that kind of stuff, because I just really enjoy reviewing content, helping people find the right products for them that work best in their life. And then also make sure to like this video. It helps me out in the algorithm. It really helps out on that. And make sure to leave comments on this video if you have any questions about how this capo works. I am not used to doing guitar content, so I don't know if I'm reviewing them correctly or anything like that. But if you have questions about it, I'm more than happy to answer them and have that discussion down in the comments. So make sure that happens. So with that said, guys, thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you next time.